Welcome back to the channel. It's Mazer, and out of fear of this getting too political, we're gonna stick away from the actual politics, and we're gonna still talk about it because, what's time if not time? So, we're gonna be talking about Dragon Ball characters as the president. This is truly the internet at its finest. President Goku, President Vegeta, President whoever. Really, I'm just gonna be freeballing here. Really just a theory video. Absolute brain rot, this one, I think. Not the most valuable video. I think last video was actually more valuable than this. The discussion of Gogeta's character for Gogeta Glaze Part 7. That was great. This is not going to be as great. I feel like you got to be interested in Dragon Ball or in politics. And who's interested in politics? Nobody. So you kind of have to be interested in Dragon Ball. And also be able to accept politics. But it's not going to be a lot of politics because, again, not very serious video. But of course, let's get straight into it with the main character, Goku. Goku is lawful good and a half. He is mainly focused on family, but of course, he does want to help people in general. So he would be similar to what the United States says it is, and it would, help out the government. The government would help out people in the country most. But of course, when there's people struggling in the country, they want to help out, send up some dollars. Of course, this is presumably what America would be, but the issue stems that, of course, it's a lot more complicated than that. How would he allocate budget? I'd imagine he spend most of it on domestic issues inside the country. Of course, that does leave outside the country matters, which Goku at some point may feel he's not even necessary in these things. Because Goku doesn't really want to show up just for fun. He only does it when he need help. I don't think Goku's gonna feel like he needs to help out in most of these situations. He's gonna feel like this is something that could naturally be done. So I don't imagine him doing much of this stuff. Now, of course, we're gonna exclude the powers here, because I feel like the powers just kind of make it a little obvious that they just would ignore it entirely. They would probably just not be present. They just do their own thing. So we're gonna know that. But I would say Goku is definitely not gonna be a great president. He's not gonna know the best way to allocate his budget, because he's gonna want to spend 90% on people inside, 10% outside, or something along those lines. Either way, it's not gonna work out perfectly. And Goku, even if we include Z Goku, I don't think he's smart enough to know exactly where to put his time and effort into. Now we have Vegeta. Vegeta is interesting that he will just not do good at all, actually. He's way too prideful. He will probably threaten nations way too much. If I could, call out a country that does the same thing, I would say maybe like I want to say Soviet Russia. Like old Russia. Honestly, just the whole nuclear arms race, that is what Vegeta would be doing constantly to every other country. Just because his pride wouldn't allow him that. He has to show that he's stronger. This is like a version of the US that is being threatened, but it's not being threatened. It's just Vegeta's natural aura. So it's not the greatest thing ever. And I think he definitely would focus on family, of course, being, in this case, America. Because if it's Super, at least, he does care about those people. But we would see a lot more invested in military funds, which could be interesting for the strength of America, but not exactly great for like the overall longevity. I think more likely than not we're gonna get jumped, funnily enough. But now we're gonna go for a weirder pick here. We're gonna go with Piccolo. Piccolo is an interesting story here because the Grill Master is a brilliant tactician, but he's also pretty chill, and that's not exactly a great thing for a president. You kind of have to care, and Piccolo will certainly care, but not enough. I think he would do an okay job. He wouldn't really do anything crazy during his term. He would actually be a filler president, actually, if that makes sense. He'd just be a filler president. He's not going to be notable in any way. He won't do any drastic measures. He'll keep things the same or make them mid. Any bad legislation, he'll probably just be like, okay, let's get rid of that. But he won't do anything major. He won't make any major changes towards your life. You can only hope that during his term that the national debt will go down because he's not spending anything crazy. But of course, if he's not changing anything, he won't be changing the spending either. So we could still see a whole lot of spending in places that don't exactly need to be spent that much in. But of course, that's just me for Piccolo. I think Piccolo's just a chill guy. I don't think he'd spend anything crazy. Now, Gohan is the worst ever, and I think he's going to be even more garbage when it comes to politics. Gohan as president could be the biggest downfall of America of all time. Because, first of all, Gohan is wishy-washy. He doesn't know whether he wants to focus on fighting or whether he wants to hunker down and focus on being a scholar and raise a family. He can't decide that. So, of course, when it comes to his fiscal plan, he won't be able to decide anything either. He'll be all over the place. He'll spend a certain X amount of dollars on domestic and like X amount of dollars on a random war outside the country, and then vice versa. Like he'll never know what he wants to focus on, which could be good, could be bad, but it's gonna be bad when really the budget is not going to look too great, because Gohan does try too hard in either category. He's either going crazy with the battles or he's going crazy with the scholarships. He is not great at either when it comes to just a balancing act, and we could see some potential overspending. I don't see Gohan as, even though he is smart, I do think he's smart. I do also think he throws away a lot of his intelligence the moment his emotions get in the way. I think overall Gohan's is probably one of the most emotional Z fighters of all time. Despite him being smart, he does often throw that to the side when it comes to his emotions. Look at the Buhan fight. He threw out all of his reason when it came to Boo just because he had the emotional power at that point. He just felt powerful. He had to do it. He had ego. Same thing with Cell, and same thing with... Actually, no, that's pretty much it. I mean, Jet Li beats Gohan. I mean... But at the same time, he did finish him off quickly, so I can't blame him for that. So we're just going to say Cell and Boo. Very obviously, his emotions are going to get in the way of him actually being able to do his job correctly. His smarts are great, but of course, what's the point when in a tense job like being the president, you're not going to be able to focus up and do the right thing? Because Gohan's not the type of person that actually can do well under pressure. Or rather, he's not the type of person to keep his intelligence under pressure. So, he's not going to be the greatest president of all time. Not really close. I think Goku would actually be the best president out of all people I just said. Well, technically, Piccolo would be the best, assuming that America's already doing fine, which currently it's not doing great. So I guess, yeah, it would be Goku probably, because Vegeta obviously would just poop pants. So would Gohan. Yeah, we're not gonna include any more Z fighters. This is a long video. It's also a mid video, so I'm not gonna like force you to waste your time here. So see ya.